My vlog activity, my vlogging activity as a vlogger, also encompasses what I've done since, wow, 2005, and that is social media consulting, content development, content marketing, and reputation management. And it doesn't matter if it was my first client when I did this in earnest, and that was Bauer Limousines, what is now called Bauer Transportation in San Francisco, for my good friend Gary Bauer, or the number of clients I've had since then, including current. The number one problem they have faced is, or has been caused by, something that is now called user-generated content. And you would say, what is that? Well, it's something that you've done, and many millions of others have done and are doing right now as I speak. Posting something about a brand on a site like Yelp or Facebook or Twitter, or writing their own blog about a brand or something related to a brand. And all the time, it doesn't matter at all the situation. Vloggers are part of that user-generated content. If you have a vlogger that goes into a hotel room like I do and makes comments about the hotel, which I have done favorably in all cases save for one thus far, or a car or anything, that person is essentially a user making a comment about that brand. So you would think that brands would, on a more regular basis, hire vloggers to have specific targeted, well, yeah, vlogs, user-generated content, right? But that doesn't happen as much as you would think it would under the circumstances, if at all. Well, in some cases, in a lot of cases. And the large reason is that a number of brand managers, be they the CEO of their company or true brand managers who have that title within a staff of people that represent a company, don't get, a lot of the time, let's say 50% of the time, that what any of us are doing are essentially adding billboards about a brand to a platform. And we can't expect 100% of the time immediate response to it. The objective is to have greater numbers of good content rather than bad. That's the idea. And so you would believe that the next step is to hire influencers. However, there are some people, like, for example, Brian Solis, who came out and said that he thought the activity of basically engaging an influencer, a vlogger, like myself, for example, to do user-generated content was not something that should be done. He didn't think that what he called pay and spray was the best approach. However, in his rant, and it really was a rant, he didn't provide an alternative. Okay? And I understand Brian believes that if you're just good, people are going to respond, period. But the basic problem is that if you, as a company, leave stories about your content, about your offerings, and your content, be it your commercials, whatever, just to users out there, you are subject to their whims and can be taken in any direction the crowd chooses. You have to form a crowd of your own to counter that. If you don't, you'll always have someone else writing your story. And from the outside looking in, someone might say, well, gee, shouldn't a company's reputation be based solely on what other people think? And the answer is, well, yes, and also no. Because the company has to have people out there talking about it in order for others to better understand what it's trying to do. And I'm speaking in a very generic sense. I'm not thinking about any particular brand. This applies across the spectrum, all across the spectrum. And vloggers are the best agents to deliver that message. You would think that, for example, brands would partner with YouTube, and YouTube would have a designated program for partners to be able to be the content producers for brands that advertise with YouTube, right? In other words, let's say a person has a product that they want pushed, like this neat light, for example, which I like, and it's pretty cool, huh? Like a robot. Get us one of these to talk about on our vlogs, and talk about how much we enjoy using them and what they look like and everything. That's like that. Or if we're going to go to CES, partner with different companies, as I do as an individual, and go and talk about their offerings. Now, in the case of CES, I don't do that for pay. I do that because someone presents a press release, we make a schedule, and I go to talk about their product. But let me be blunt. I am helping them make money. And a number of people forget that. There's a myth that it's a huge myth that in the quote old days unquote of media, there was a more objective position that was taken. That's not true. Advertisers have always pulled the message strings in one way or another with respect to newspapers. If they got an unfavorable review in a newspaper, they pulled an ad, which fixed the problem. Now it's a lot harder to control that, okay? But today, what a person is trading when they go to CES is they're trading the ability to have free access with, without paying a lot of money for it, and being able to walk around all over the place with the responsibility of covering the companies that are there. However, some companies want you to say more and they want more content. And it is perfectly reasonable to do deals with those companies. Because after all, the more content you make for that company, the more you're helping that brand. And it could be your vlog that goes viral, or even if it doesn't go viral, it sends that one little message that kicks off a number of chain reactions that causes that product from that brand to be purchased, or that service. And then the fact of the matter is, you don't know when that's going to happen. It could happen during CES, after, maybe a year after. But the bottom line is, it does happen. So today, the vlogger is the best agent to help brands fight the user-generated content wars. No other. And YouTube should recognize that, and Twitter, I might add, and other video platforms that are in business now. I also, on that note, while I'm thinking about it, have to say how disappointed I am that Yahoo has basically succeeded the video business to YouTube. I remember when Yahoo CEO Marissa Mayer first took her job, and I greeted her at TechCrunch Disrupt. I believe this was 2011, and not that Disrupt, the Crunchies. Excuse me. It was the Crunchies after party at Davies Symphony Hall in San Francisco, and I said to her that she should focus on a YouTube competitor. My position was that a YouTube competitor would make YouTube better and help us all as vloggers in the vlogging community. But for reasons that are still not known to me, she didn't do that. She said she would at the time. well, she didn't actually say emphatically she would. She felt it was a good idea. Okay, being fair to Marissa. Um, but the bottom line is she didn't do that. And that's that's bad for all of us. But I digress. Back to the main point. Vloggers are the best agents to use by brands in the user generated content wars. And if you are a vlogger, it's not just, as a tip, it's not just your vlog on YouTube. Make sure your vlog is on your blog and on all your social media accounts. Don't think of your business as just tied to YouTube, but think of YouTube as the center of your universe, and everything radiates out from YouTube like that. YouTube is a fantastic product I've been happy to be associated with, involved with since 2006, and a partner with since 2008.